I see you tackled at number one. Beautiful. And beautiful is where it all starts, because that's exactly what came to us in the 90s. Beauty in the shape of VHS tapes from video rentals that cropped up in every other basement. Beautiful weather kiosk windows where, instead of people's times, you had Spider-Man, Batman and He-Man to feast your eyes on, or Popcorn or Bravo magazines a little later. Speaking of Bravo, we owe a round of applause to all those who from their campaign beds and clamshell stalls treated us to music of every kind, colorful clothes, laundry detergents for those clothes, and plastic bags to carry all those treasures home. Bravo indeed. Beautiful times. They really were. Well, actually they weren't. Truth be told, it was a mess. We were skinned up to our ankles in mud. But you know what? I've got a million stories about how tough and awful it was back then. But I've also got 100 million stories about how beautiful and magical it was. 100 million magical stories. And that's after redenomination, so quite a lot, isn't it? Because I simply was there, you see. That's when I was born, so to speak, as a conscious consumer. And I'm still there, only now, as a collector. And what I'm going to tell you are the most honest stories of mine and other collectors who are one big family of sorts. Speaking of which, let me show you into our little parlor. Come on in, don't be shy. We have quite a collection of TVs here, and you know what? My parents would go for debates, like that famous one in November '95 between a certain Lech Wałęsa and post-communist Aleksander Kwaśniewski. But honestly, I couldn't care a toss back then, because what really got me excited were computers. My main home computer was ZX Spectrum, made by the British company Sinclair Research. The most beautiful keyboard in the world, at least for me, designed by Rick Dixon. Bless you for that one. Then the Atari STE, 16 bits on a Motorola processor, 512 kilobits to 4 megabytes memory. Can you imagine? 4 megabytes of RAM, while you have at least 8 gigs in even the most basic phone today. But I loved those computers, and I still do. Gaming consoles were a different story though. We were always a bit behind the times. For example, when the Atari Lynx launched in the '89, we were still playing Russian Eggs, a Nintendo console clone. And hey, whoever didn't button mash the wolf, may they cast their first egg. But seriously, the revolutionary 64 Atari Jaguar came out in '93. But just one compatible game cartridge cost about 2 monthly salaries at the time. Who'd be able to afford the Jaguar in Poland? Plus, the divide between computer users and console gamers were quite noticeable. We computer folks looked down at the console cavemen, though we certainly were no strangers to gaming ourselves. Let's be honest, we played plenty, sometimes until dawn. But we could program too. Everything changed when Sony PlayStation arrived. Not right at lunch, but around '98, when the poor middle class, myself included, could finally afford a console, while games turned out to be surprisingly easy to copy. But enough chat. I bet your fingers are itching to play something. I get the same whenever I see a good game. Well, good news is you can play here. Seriously, play as much as you like unless there's a queue, then do let others have a go. You can also watch a short video on VHS. You'll find the instructions right next to the devices, and if anything's unclear, just ask the staff. When you've had your fill playing and watching, we'll head to the next room and turn left, where you will see the stair-like structures. When you get there, press number 2 on the keypad and confirm it with a large play button.